Do you think, and I'm going to put myself in the category of the average guy, do you think the average person understands AI, or we have a lot of misconceptions about it?
Yeah, there's a lot of misconceptions about it. The average person that I talk to that's outside of technology has no real concept of what AI can do to a business, whether it's an enterprise or a small startup. But they also think that AI is now ChatGPT, and that's because of the mainstream media and stuff. They think that incorporating ChatGPT is going to help their business do better. When in reality, I don't even know if ChatGPT is going to be around for the next year, considering what's happening on the cloud side.
The misconceptions. Do you think that as I have my increased learning curve about it, I see AI as always working in the background to refine our business and provide me more information on how to do my job better. Like
Yeah.
that. So I don't know what you feel like. That's like a layman's explanation of it.
Yeah, and it's a great starting point when you look at it from how can I just incrementally improve my business, right? Not how can I modify my business to, incorporate some sort of chat GPT into it just because everyone else is. The reality is AI is different for every business, and machine learning and the algorithms that you can place in your business can give you different data sets or different anomalies that allow you to not do a task or give you the opportunity to not do something that took you hours before and convert that to minutes. And that's where the efficiencies matter. And when the technology can do that for a large number of people at a company, then you start gaining insights, things you've never had before. But there's two real main problems that people have when they come to us is one, predictive power is a real thing. You need massive amounts of data to be able to predict the future. And if you don't have that massive amounts of data, you need to go buy that data or get that data, right? So startups that have maybe 10,000 customers can't really predict how a new customer is going to interact with them because the data is just not strong enough, right? There's just not enough there. But the second aspect that gets really confusing is not everything needs to be automated, right? There needs still to be humans in the loop to help with the prompting, to help with the analysis, to help figure out is this true, is this not? And so the companies that are really incorporating the human aspect with the technology, I call it skeuomorphism. That's really the future. And if you have a CEO that understands that balance between actually a good thing, BCG, Boston Consulting Group, just came out with a report. And they interviewed all Fortune 500 CEOs, and 2/3 of them, so 66%, said they're not even planning for AI into their company for the next year because they don't know what the groundwork is. But the better stat they said is that there's this 70-10-20 metric. And what that basically means is to incorporate AI, 70% of to incorporate successful AI, 70% of the money needs to be spent on the implementation of training the people, 20% on the technology, and 10% on the algorithms. So if you look at that, 20% on the technology means you can buy something for $1 million. You're going to have to spend $7-8 million on the people training them on the new systems just to get it to be a successful project, right? And that's coming right from Boston Consulting Group. So it's really a human interaction that you need to work with the technology, not hey, this is just going to replace everything we do.
I think, correct me if I'm wrong. I really am. I'm always growing, learning myself, but we've been touching and interacting with AI for years, and we just didn't have a term. It's like when I pull up a social media site and a Home Depot ad comes up that's about paint.
Yeah.
It's because I searched paint a day or two ago on my browser, maybe. Is that machine learning?
Yeah, of course. It's actually even semantic search and vector embeddings and the stuff that we're bouncing around as terms now in 2023 that seem to be fresh and new. But in reality, all that is semantically comparing your idea for paint towards the idea that you're going to be an advertised and doing lookalike audiences and comparing two audiences together to figure out what the similarities are between those. And that's straight machine learning, from early days of.
And I guess as consumers, we have somehow assumed over the past 15, 20 years, when that invitation to apply for a credit card, they think that's random.
Yeah.
It's not random, correct?
No, it's funny when I talk to my parents or people that, they're like, oh, I got a card from a realtor. I'm like, oh yeah, they probably think you're selling your house. Right. Or there's a famous Target story where the dad kept getting things in the mail about his 16-year-old daughter, basically being pregnant. And he kept getting advertisements for like diapers and bottles and all that other good stuff. And then he finally asked his daughter, and she's like, yeah, I'm pregnant, right? So it's almost like Target knows the stuff they're putting in the mailbox before the people in your household do. But it's all truth. It's all based on just, triggering factors. If you're, a certain type of demographic in a certain area and you look up a specific thing, there's a probability that somebody else had done that in the past, right? So sometimes it's machine learning, but sometimes it's just pattern matching, right? This event occurred 72 times before, and 70 times of that, they purchased sunglasses, right? Because they were in Florida and they had forgot their sunglasses, and they looked in, I forgot my, all those little things. If you trace back the history of it and then you say, hey, this new person typed the same thing in, well, it's a probably good chance that they're going to buy some sunglasses, right?
So when you're building an app, is it important for you to see and read the data first to realize how to build the app to integrate with it? Or do you build the app and then tell the customer, hey, let's make sure we have the right data?
It depends on the app. There's some customers that come to us and they say, we're doing a stock trading app. We have the stock market as our data. We're doing this new analysis way to trade stocks for people to be informed. So we necessarily don't need to comb through the data there. We need to invent a new way to, process that data. And either we do that or the company does it. In this case, the company did it. But the other companies that come to us and say, look, we need to improve conversion rates, or we need to predict how many houses are on the market in Ohio next month, right? That is not like, hey, we're going to launch this in 3 months. No, we're going to buy hundreds and hundreds of thousands of data points. And for the house one, I think we have 135 million houses with 1,400 columns that generates 40 billion scenarios. And of those scenarios, we predict 130 houses in Ohio that are going to be for sale next month, right? Plus the rest of the United States. And so, yeah, that's a massive amount of data, but that needed to be collected over the course of 12, 15 months before we started seeing 70% accuracy. But yeah, it depends on the customer and it depends on the use case.